Welcome back, everybody. It's another week of June, week 36, June 7th to the 11th. That's what's coming up. And last week we got started with Yahtzee, dice, and probability. The chances of things happening. What's that? Oh, why am I dressed like this? Well, this happens to be the Lilac City Open Golf Tournament out at the Fairways Golf Course. And my son's a golfer. He came to town and I've been caddying for him. He's actually a professional golfer. So we just got off the course and wow, is it windy. And I thought, what the heck? Let's just do the video like this so that you know I don't always wear a vest. Well, different type of vest. It's windy out. Okay, without further ado, we've got to get ready for our shout outs. And this week's shout outs for our Matthew Achievers go to Isabel Bennett, Clay Contois, Maddie Hamilton, Colin McBride, Reliance Morgan, Quinn Moses, Jackson Knoll, and Xavier Thorne. In period 5, Kristen Barnett, Hannah Lee, Arthur Lucan, Ashley Ole, and Jack Ruckty. Now, remember, if you want to push yourself, get through all of Mathia, all the shapes, 3D, surface area and volume, and now probability, you can ensure yourself an A for the semester. It's not the only way to get an A, but it does help. All right, so let's do an extra shout out to the people with all those stars. Maddie Hamilton, 4 workspaces. Wow. Colin McBride with a workspace. Jackson Knoll with a workspace. Kristen Barnett, 2 workspaces. And Jack Ruckty with an extra workspace. So thank you all for your extra effort on Mathia. Now, let's get ready for class participants. I hope all of you take this energy and bring it back next year because we need what you bring to class. All that conversation, all that interaction, all the questions about what we're trying to learn helps each and every one of us be better at what we do. And we want to do a special shout out to Isabel Bennett, Kaiten Blankenagel, Alexis Brandt, Nathan Bryan, Claire Darlin, sorry Claire, and Sarah Gonzalez, Nathan Hansen, Ashlyn Miltonberger, Quinn Moses, Reliance Morgan, Jackson Knoll, Cam Odell, and Xavier Thorne. In period 5, Kristen Barnett, Maya Eckel, Alyssa Granados, Hannah Lee, Matt McConnell, Carlene Nolan, Ashley Ole, Jack Ruckty, and Teddy Weston. Thank you for all that energy that you bring to class. And this past week, we started to play Yahtzee, and several folks went over and above, coming to the front of the room and helping with Yahtzee. And those shout outs go to Kaiten Blankenagel, Claire Darlin, Sarah Gonzalez, and Reliance Morgan. All right. Okay, this last week, we learned about probability, okay? We were rolling the bones. We were rolling the dice, right? And when we roll the dice, each die, as we roll it, is considered an independent event. This week, we're going to look at scenarios where sometimes it's independent. Pick one card out of a deck, 52-1. But this week, we're going to also talk about what does it mean to be a dependent event and a compound event. So let's use a quick example here. Deck of cards, 52 cards, all right? The 9 of clubs, 52-1, boom. That is an independent event. Now, the next event, what if the second card we draw is the 5 of diamonds? The probability of the 5 of diamonds coming out is dependent on something happening before. Now, if we say, what is the probability of the first 2 cards are the 9 of clubs and the 5 of diamonds, we have dependent items happening, we have compound events happening, and the math that goes with it. So this week, the scenarios get a little more complicated for you to think about. So push yourself, try every one of those problems, and don't be afraid that you might be thinking about it different than somebody else, because the way you learn these games may be the correct way and the other person isn't quite sure. So lots of ways to look at all these scenarios. Let's have some fun with dice, but also this week, maybe we should play some cards, right? What card games do you play at your house that maybe you can show your neighbor in the classroom? And then the following week, the last full week of school, we're going to get into the potato chip problem, the donut problem. If you look back on the back wall, you'll see this big picture of a dozen donuts. What's that all about? Okay, we'll have a sample space, a dozen donuts. We'll have independent. The very first potato chip we pick out, the very first donut that we pick out is independent. But then we have dependent and compound events and all the little things that go in with it. So without further ado, another round of golf, more practice. Don't be afraid to practice. Boy, we Montecoucos, we love to practice. Okay, have a great week, and we'll see you in the classroom on Monday, Tuesday. Bye, everybody.